Here we go then, ready to rumble in the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup for group number 2, and breaking off to get us going is Jordan Shephard. Good partnership this, him and Ricky Jones go back a long way in terms of friendship. 8 balls on the move early on, keep an eye on that. There's a hammer of an opening break from Sheppy. For those who don't know, because, you know, there will be a few, Jordan Shephard is one of the most entertaining players with a cue in his hand in the world. He is fabulously talented, one of the most mercurial players that you could ever watch. And when it all flows, when it all comes together, just an absolute joy to witness him with cue in hand in whatever sport he chooses to play. Red's choice then for Jones and Shephard. Red's looking pretty set here, Sybert. I know I don't need to preach to you about the qualities of one Jordan Shephard, one of your favourites, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Has been a brilliant player for a long time. He's really entertaining to watch. You know, he likes the cue ball flowing around the table. He sees his pattern slightly differently to, you know, some of the players. He doesn't keep it quite as tight, but, you know, in some ways he reminds me quite a lot of the way that Chris Melling goes about it. Breakneck speed as well. You know, sees the game very quickly. Huge amount of talent, cue in the hand, and huge amount of belief as well. Can get hot under the bothered out there, but normally uses that to drive him forward rather than the other way. One thing that notices me straight away in this first visit is the break was huge, and Jordan was telling me before we got underway today, new break cue, and he's been working really hard on the break in particular, and it's been going really well, so keep an eye on that as the night goes on. But they haven't quite had the cue ball where they wanted to in this visit, but looks like they're still going to get out.
Yeah, and that comes down sometimes to a really good break. Once bounce, gets enough of one. Just slides in off that near jaw.
You want him to have the lion's share of the chances, and he got one there, took it, and now he hands it over to Ricky, and Ricky's at 2-0 up. It's a nice place to be with the break here. It means that next time Jordan Shephard plays an individual frame, if it's required, obviously, which would be frame 5, he'll have the break. So set up nicely here for this partnership. Not the best of breaks though from Ricky. Didn't really connect well here. Yeah, you can see he's very, very fortunate. Elliott hit the same break and cue ball flew straight in off, and Ricky gets the other side of it. Interesting to see how Ricky goes tonight, and I like to see this as well. I like to see Jordan, he is the sort of leader of this team, coming forward and getting involved.
Yeah, Ricky's absolutely, he's a proper player, but humble enough to, you know, be able to take on a little bit of captain's advice every now and then.
Yeah, and that was a brilliant shot. It really was so well worked out. Obviously Jordan saw it, as he so often does, he sees it quickly. And obviously now that's been executed, it changes this frame. It looked like it was going to be awkward, but that first shot, and all of a sudden these reds look glorious. I wasn't sure if they would go like this tonight. I wasn't sure if Jordan would just leave Ricky to it or try and get involved. And I'm a big fan of seeing the player get involved and help. The reason Jordan Shephard's one of the best players in the world is not just how he executes shots, it's how he sees the game, and having that sort of advice can only help. Yeah, having a slight issue here because he's straight on this red, and getting onto the 8 ball isn't guaranteed. He was looking to see if he gets straight in on the red to the corner. Can he just top through for the 8 ball? It looks tight. He's come around, have another look. Oh, you can see from that angle there is room. It's fine. Touch short.
Yeah, needs a shot here.
Looked like there was room if he just gets past the straight. It was just going to be a fairly simple one into the middle, but left it so short, had to go for the double.
Oh, and how about that? Rolled in. And beautifully played. Just wonder if that maybe was the plan all along.
It must have been. I don't think you'd leave it that short on purpose, so it looked like there was room, though. It looked like the camera angle gave us the impression there was room to top through and take it into the middle, but this partnership have looked, well, on point, haven't they, all the way through?
Super start. Andy Williams is, well, that's the first shot Andy Williams has played in anger, and what a break. If ever you needed a route back into the match, that is a good way to start. That is a booming break from Andy Williams. Can't hit them much better than that.
Can you get through to him?
Crunching.
You can use the extension.
Extension course.
Obviously back to the Scotch frame here. Only just ticked over the halfway point in the match, so that this team, you know, should believe there's enough time to turn this around. The question is, can they get the chances? Obviously, this is their first one in the whole match. I think they were playing on the one on the left-hand side there and just comes up a little bit short. You wouldn't really want to be playing the one on the left-hand side near where Andy is now to get down the table. Needs a little bit of angle, which they might not have. This is awkward. This is very awkward.
Just through.
Even if he gets this shot right, he needs to play probably a controllable cannon. A lot has to happen in these next 2 shots. Yeah, just dropping it in. From this angle, it looks like he's going to be catching the yellow a little bit thin. Well, he got the cannon right because he was conscious of it and missed the pot. That's all it takes for a visit to go wrong. Half a positional shot went wrong early in the visit and led to the end of it going completely wrong. Although it has left this partnership in a slightly awkward position here. Probably just going to have to attack. No point playing the loss of turn because they're more likely to leave a ball on even playing it. So attack here. There's only one ball that's a problem. Obviously the one that cue ball's nearest to now, but try and leave the 3/4 ball to bottom right. Play the nudge out. Might be a touch straight on it now. You could play it, but you'd be having to manufacture the angle.
Yeah.
And
needs a shot.
yeah. Also doesn't help if the red that's just below the break line doesn't pass the red nearest the top right. You might not be on a ball. If you get full ball contact on the red here, you might not be on anything. And they're not on anything, I don't think.
Might well just be a double.
Try and get there, maybe.
Well, they're looking at tucking in behind the red at the top of the table. It's a risk if so.
Whilst playing the loss of turn. Brilliant.
Well,
That was on purpose. He was trying to make that shot, but he was also trying to find the hiding place for the cue ball, which he probably has just about got. Almost like a 2-way shot. Fabulous that from Jordan.
yeah, how good is that? Fabulous skill shot from the Welsh wizard.
How good's this? 4 visits to the table. Brilliant.
Perfect. Simply cannot play better than that. Ricky Jones and Jordan Shepherd are off to a flyer in the Pairs Cup. Couple of really good pairs there, and good to see Nigel Smith and Dave Fernandez smiling away. Two very happy chappies to be out there in the arena. It's going to be Nigel Smith to break off. Noses onions around an 8-ball table does Nigel Smith. He's been playing for a very, very long time. And a barely broken tap break on the cut break makes a ball, and it's not a terrible split either. I have a suspicion this has been something they've maybe worked on in practice today. Nigel very familiar with how different setups and tables work. He's the owner of London's premier Spots and Stripes. So I have a feeling him and Dave have worked on that break today, and well, who's going to deny them with the result?
Yeah, that first shot didn't go to plan though. They did have the perfect angle to break out the only bad ball on reds, but that breakout shot's not worked in terms of they haven't landed nicely. They can still finish from here, but it's a little bit more work than if they were on the ones at bottom left straight away.
Extension.
Could have done one coming on and off there, landing on the one on the top cushion that you can control it. Have to go for the one below the 8-ball now. Not going for it at all, no attempt to pot that. If they wanted to continue on and make the clearance, then you go for the one just below or to the right of the 8-ball, top it through and go that way. But they're going for the control, and that's a pretty good shot because these reds are laid out nicely, and not a lot that the Fleming brothers can do from here. I think they can just see the yellow. What can you do with that? Unless you can do enough to double it, but you are then just going all out. Surprising choice for me, because I think this cuts in. Yeah, it drops in with control as well. Problem they still have is the same one, that red nearest the bottom corner pocket's hard to land on, and then hard to get out and get away from as well. Even if you were to land on it where they are now, they're likely to be second, or well, it will be second or last red. You've got to land on the other red with an angle to then get up the table. That's a fabulous shot from Dave, that really is, to hit that gap from there.
Did not have a lot of room with that.
Now they've got to hit another gap. That's not it. Problem was, if they get the side on to miss the red on the left-hand side as we see the table, then they're leaving the bad angle on the red to get onto the 8-ball. It wasn't nice at all.
Result. Not just a miss on the red and a failure of a safety if that was the attempt, but by scratching the cue ball in hand for the brothers Fleming.
Perfect start really for the Fleming brothers here, isn't it? But, there wasn't a lot they could do with the first shot. They tried to make it as hard as possible. It was essentially a bit of a nothing shot. What else could they do? But it's left them just to... We talk about it all the time, don't we? This is exactly how you'd like to start a night. You could never... You don't want your opponents getting the first opportunity, but if they do get first opportunity and leave one ball on the table, you've got a wide open opportunity to get the Q arm going. You know, plenty of room for these shots here. Even if they were to make a mistake, the red's in a bad spot as well. It really is just a nice way to get into tonight. We touched on it when we were out in the arena at the start of the night. You know, I like this partnership. Obviously, you can't get any closer than brothers, but they are very, very close as friends as well. They spend a lot of time together, a lot of time playing, practicing, and talking about the game. And And I really like this partnership. I think individually they've both gone really well as first-year professionals last year. They both had good runs, both showcased what they can do, and both showed that they've got the belief they can actually go on and do well at this level and have success. And together, they were very good last year.
Yeah, and I think as well, when you achieve it, the success with a family member right alongside you, it must mean an awful lot more as well. Right, ball was tracking towards the middle pocket.
It is worth pointing out that the golden breaks came when he was cut breaking, because he hurt himself in a car crash and couldn't actually break with any power, so had to cut break. Goes to the front ball and nothing happens.
Yeah, he's a little unlucky. You can see a couple of
hit them well.
jaw rattlers. But as they alluded to in their interview, sometimes this is what it's all about in the pairs. Enjoyment comes first. And if you can find a way to be successful as well as enjoy it, fantastic. But I think certainly for Dave and Nigel, that have come here not with much expectation, certainly a fair amount of hope. They're two very good players, but they'll have been determined to enjoy the evening.
I always get the sense with Dave that he really enjoys competing and enjoys playing and enjoys the experience of it. He knows that if he plays well, he's got a chance, but equally he's not going to live on dying the results, which I think is a great attitude to have. Ryan has a big problem to solve, and he's going to be leaving it very late. Red and yellow together are a problem. Obviously, he has the perfect breaker ball, but he can't get there for a couple of shots. And if he deals with them at the bottom of the table first, which he's going to, he might end up playing that breakout shot and needing to land on it, and it's not one of those where you feel that's likely. See the red nearest the top left corner is the ball I'm talking about, playing the breakout. Screw off the cushion into the yellow, pop the red on, but you might not be on it.
Yeah, you get the sense he's going to be asking a lot. If you just took that red and yellow together on the left side rail, he's in prime shape, but that is a big problem.
I think the way it's laid out here, to me, he's odds against playing the breakout and landing on it. But that's what's got to happen.
Hope may be for Team Salsa. Just dead straight here, he's going to have to reinforce something.
The good news is he doesn't need to put much pace into it, so he just needs to get the cannon. So he can pinch the pocket enough to get there. The problem is he's got to not stick on the yellow, and he needs the red to not go too far down the table.
Almost wants a glancing blow.
He'd take that, in all honesty. The red goes to bottom left, he'll definitely take it. I think it does as well.
Yeah, and I think position's not too bad on the 8 ball.
He played it a little bit firmer than I was expecting, but the result's okay, as awkward as this is. Clearly goes, as you can see there. Oh, used it all, but then it drops.
Well, you have to say, an excellent clearance. (3-0). Mark Fleming with a check of the watch. Shade over 5 minutes remaining. That'll tick down to the 5-minute mark.
I think if it wasn't for the time in the match situation here, I think they'd play the double now. But the reason they're playing the double, or leaving the double, is because it's all about running clock.
Yeah, exactly.
That was one of those situations where that was in or over. If it doesn't go in, then they know that loss of turn would have to happen. All that kills the clock. So the right choice for the situation.
Over to you.
Yeah, no, it's a surprising choice there from Mark.
Cheeky little lost a turn from Ryan Fleming.
Which he wasn't really playing, but he'll take it. He'll take it.
That didn't look on. Didn't look on. It's going to be a win then for the Fleming brothers, and for Nigel and Dave, straight into a shootout match, really, with Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams. How lucky can you get? That will wrap the match up, I'm sure, now for Mark and Ryan. Oh, they are taking it very seriously.
Yeah, don't take liberties, I guess, but thought they might give that one a little bit of a ride.
That really will be that now. 4-0 win incoming. Mark and Ryan eventually get the job done. That's playing the percentages, folks. Beautifully done from the two boys from Dundee, and that is an excellent start. Back-to-back 4-0 wins in the Pairs Cup. Dave Fernandez and Nigel Smith are in need of a lifeline. They play next.
Well, welcome back to the Pairs Cup. Still all smiles out there.
Thank you, Fish Frank.
For Nigel and Dave, but they have it all to do. It's the losers of our first two matches battling out here in match 3. Need a win here to keep their hopes alive. A draw just about keeps them in it, but it's very slim chances if that happens. A win is required. But for the pair that does win, they will feel like they've got every chance, because it's hard to win all your matches in the Pairs Cup. So 6 weight, oh sorry, the 6 red is every opportunity if they get a win here and win their final match.
So here we go again then, 20 minutes back on the match clock. For Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams. A slightly different feel for them, I would suggest.
It was just tough in their first match. I know they had an opportunity in frame 3, but that was about it.
Yeah, they were blown away really by Jordan Shephard and Ricky Jones, whereas Dave Fernandez and Nigel Smith did actually have a fair amount of table time. They had plenty of first opportunities in their match, but doesn't really matter. Both defeated 4-0. That's what the league table will say. And Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams' first shot there went wrong, and it was a tricky little one, but results-wise it couldn't have gone any worse. It's always a tough one, isn't it, when it's open table and you have to take on a tough shot that you know you need to take on. But if you miss it, it just opens the table wide open for your opponents.
Yeah, getting first chance there will be very disappointing for the Welsh pairing, who will feel like they didn't really get much of a go in that first match, and they know that can happen, but disappointing start. They'll feel the worst here, because this is laid out beautifully for Nigel and Dave. I think the yellow below the red slides in the left centre. Shouldn't be a problem to get there. I'm not sure if they can drop this in and hold for it to bottom right corner if it goes. That's the one they want to be thinking about. Obviously the one on the cushion as well, so decisions to be made here. They're a little bit thin, they can't come across for the one on the cushion now, which is why I'm suggesting the other one. Decided to play the cannon and played it very well. And this is perfect. They can play up for the one on the cushion now, leave the one in the middle of the triangle area to connect to the 8-ball. Yeah, that's perfect. You don't really need to do too much here, just get it on and off. You don't need to come down the table that much. 3/4 ball on the yellow's fine. Straight in's perfect, but there's no point trying to get there. Yeah, accept what you got. Massive disappointment there. That can happen when you're kind of floating one in, you complete decelerate on this one. It's a sort of shot you shouldn't really be missing, but wasn't able to sort of punch it in like you think he wants to. It's still a poor one from Nigel, and he knows it.
Yeah, it'll be a painful one, that.
It won't be the immediate counter here, though. 2 reds at the bottom, obviously blocked off because of the yellow, so can't attack straight away, but Elliot and Andy are in complete control of this frame thanks to that miss from Nigel.
Just gonna have to look at the other course of that.
They've just got to make sure when they're playing safe here, there's no way of making the yellow off the red. Make sure that doesn't squeeze in. It doesn't look like it would. Maybe they were worried about it, which is why they tried to pot, and then they can play a better safety here. Put it into a, it's got a big margin of error here, bottom right-hand corner, just to get the snooker. Just don't go in off.
Just get with every shot.
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still going to, they're still going to lose the frame off it, barring a very bad mistake from the Welsh pairing, but it's an excellent hit.
Yeah, and it almost worked out really nicely. If that yellow had fully covered the pocket, it had just given Elliot and Andy something to think about.
Yeah, and they've still got a Q3 in. Andy's overhit this one, or he's overhit it so far he's on it into the centre. I'll be very surprised if he played for that in the centre, but if he did, he's played it well. I just thought they'd just get the cue ball between the 2 reds. He always wanted to go top right, or the top one of the 2 reds before the bottom one, but worked out well.
It did indeed.
Wasn't able to. Well, he's going to change to the cut break here. Here we go. I think he hit the front ball really well. Came up dry, but he hit it well. But look at that for a cut break. Really good.
Yeah, I think when you cut break that well, almost feels weird for you not to use it.
He hit the front break well as I know. Came up dry, but he hit it great. Sometimes you just have to go with how you're feeling out there. But now you've made one off the cut break, you think he'd stay there on his next break. Gave him a lovely layout. Looked a little bit fiddly around that bottom corner, but both yellows passing the red made it a very nice layout, and he's in prime position here just to run these out. Not really a lot that can go wrong here.
It's going to be an important comeback. 1-1 in the offing. Golden break is the order of the day here. Set us up for a decider with best part of 3 minutes remaining. It is going to be a cut break.
And it's a narrow cut break as well. I always think the 8 ball moves a lot more when you go for the narrow cut break.
8 ball on the move. He wants it. He wants it. Somehow it stays up and it's dry.
Yeah, but he knew exactly what he was after here.
This was close. I thought this red was going to knock it in. Just didn't quite meet in the middle, did they? Even referee Orich Tesco having a look there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was good to watch. Good camera angle that, to see all three of them heavily invested. But it's come out terribly for them, really. I know it's dry, which doesn't help Nigel as well, but also look at this layout. He's going to be forced to be reds because he's going to... Elliot's going to go yellows. So even if Elliot doesn't get out here, I mean, how on earth do you respond on reds? They're just awful. Yeah, and Dubs gets involved and says, just tie it up and make it even worse. I just don't know how they can even attack here. You have to attack. You can't let Elliot just slow it down. I think you have to gamble and get at least 2 of the reds out here. Well, half gets 1 out. As you said earlier on, the draw doesn't help either partnership here. I mean, keeps them in just about. So you need more than just winning this frame for Dave and Nigel. You need to win this frame and leave enough time to have a chance of a reverse clearance in the next. So it's just all set up for them to be, well, no chance really.
Yeah, it should end the night for, at least in terms of qualification prospects for Dave and Nigel. But important for Elliot and Andy here to not lose this frame. A draw is obviously no good for Dave and Nigel, but a draw's no good for Elliot and Andy as well. There's still some jeopardy in this for them. That's a hell of a part. Just keeping himself at the table for as much of this frame as possible.
This is the time to turn the table over whilst there's a yellow in the loose. Yeah, just turn it over. That's the one.
Realistically, it's all over.
Yeah, same again here for Elliot. Don't take any liberties. Use the beeps though, make sure you get down to the beeps. Well, he didn't quite, that's 3 or 4 seconds early. It won't matter though. Now it really is job done.
Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams have stayed alive as Nigel Smith has a bit of a bash. Not to be there for Team Salsa. It's the Welshmen who are going to progress in this group. They stay alive. They still need another victory. That's going to come in round 3 of fixtures. But who will it be against? Who will they be needing to hunt down? The crucial battle to take control of the group comes next. And welcome back Jordan Shepherd and Ricky Jones and the Fleming brothers. Right, Fleming standing by. Key match of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup 2024, group number 2. The first round winners facing off against each other for the right to take control of the group. And here is the Ryan Fleming break that Simon Webb was talking about.
I love watching it. I really do. It's so hard to do it the way he does it, stand up on it and get that flushed contact, but
it's unique.
It's unique, but he gets it flush nearly every single time. It really is impressive. This is probably me. He probably missed that by as much as I've seen him miss it, and he's still got power through. And he's a little bit unlucky to be dry there. In all honesty, it wasn't his absolute best, but
yeah, you could see it with the way that the cue came down the table. He came across it ever so slightly, but I mean, he's splitting hairs. The power and the contact is excellent. And I actually wouldn't recommend going down your local club and trying that, because we'd have plenty of club owners onto us saying, look what you told people to do. There'd be plenty of rip cloths around, but it is hard.
I tell you what, I don't think it's the worst idea to stand on it, up on it in a touch. Easy for me to say, to just stand up on it, get that head just above the cue by a little bit more than your normal style, just so that you've got a little bit more room. But the key is to keep that head still to really make sure you get that quality contact. Ryan stands up on it a lot and gives himself a lot of room to play with there. But it's so hard to execute the way he does. I love watching it. I really do.
Big frame this then, and it's Sheppy and Ricky at the table.
And they were flawless in their first match. 4 visits to the table, 4 clearances, 3 of them off the break, 1 of them a counter. obviously very much the same as the first match. You know, Jordan's in charge of this partnership, giving Ricky the idea of what he wants to see.
It is amazing when that dynamic happens. We see it quite a bit. As I say, careful not to underplay how good a player Ricky is. It's more just how good a player Sheppy is. But when you do have that sort of that A and B dynamic, it can really elevate player B in that scenario.
The player B has to be on board with it as well. You know, Ricky, as you said, he's a very, very good player in his own right, but he has to not, you know, he can't let his ego get involved and say, no, I know what I'm doing here. You want to work as a partnership, and it takes both of them to do that. But yeah, I'm with you. You know, Jordan's one of the best players in the world because of the way he sees the game. Allow him to sort of showcase that.
How good has this been as a visit to the table? Ricky Jones will roll in this 8-ball for a 5th straight frame for this duo. They are looking very, very sharp indeed, because now Ricky's got a really tough shot to play. You could argue for not going here, but he's going to.
He misses his cannon and misses the pot and goes in off. It's all wrong. I'm with you. You don't have to attack in that
Sheppy
situation.
saying shot.
Yeah, he's trying to make the cut. He's trying to get the cannon on the red and yellow there, and obviously.
I'm honest, that's such a difficult shot to execute, because to pot that, he needed to be thinner, which is going further away from that cannon. That was really, really high tariff.
And the cue ball in hand going in off makes it so much worse, because it gives Mark cue ball in hand to be able to play the breakout shot, which he's done. And actually, it couldn't have gone much worse, because it's tied the 8-ball up when he played that shot. So there's still work here. And also, you know, look at this. You know, you've got Ryan and Mark there. Ryan's very much invested in this visit as well. He stood up just in kind of analysing the table, just to kind of, if he can help in any way, he'll get involved.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to, but he wanted to have a look at the layout. I really like to see that. I know last year's champions didn't really do it at all with Connor and John. They kind of just left themselves to it. They kind of, if it was their individual frame, they left each other to it. But I love seeing that dynamic when players get invested in each other's visits.
Yeah, we see it a lot, don't we? We've got 2 players at the table, both got their cues out and they're waggling and pointing. We see it all the time. It's all part of the beauty of the game, that, for me, because you can see it so differently to somebody else. It doesn't necessarily make one player better than the other. It's just pure perspective.
I suspect some players would like to come and see it from in here, because I think it's easier game to see from the commentary box than it is when you're out there.
Yeah. So a big shot to play here for Mark. I don't think he's going to move anything, which means the only pocket it looks like it goes into is top left from here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Very clever. Well, it goes bottom left now. That's very good.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Love that. 1-1 and the first frame lost for Ricky Jones and Jordan Shephard tonight. It'd be very, very tough to call that a mistake from Ricky. 5 times a shootout champion before Ultimate Pool's emergence. And he is absolutely livid with that. Watch the reaction here. You could hear it. That's a bad one.
It is. It is. Straight in is a bad one, especially as I said earlier on. He's been working hard on the break, new break cue, and he's been breaking really well, he tells us in practice, but not there.
Well, it's the cardinal sin for any player who prides himself on their break, like with Jordan has. It is such a disappointment to do that. Don't read too much into Jordan's reaction. He is one of those players who can work with it, and has worked for himself a shot to play on 1 second. Did it well.
Yeah, nearly made a huge error, probably the biggest error of the night, and just caught by his brother there, Ryan. he put the cue ball below the break line, but after the break, when it's a foul off the break, it has to be in the break area. Can't be below the line. So nearly a big error, but just caught in time.
Fabulous recovery shot from his brother as well. That's brilliant from Ryan.
And that error from Jordan on the break has just turned the tables back in the brothers' favour here, because they've got the chance if they can take here, and then they have the break in the next. So it's a big moment for them again.
Oh, they were trying to be cheeky. They were trying to be cheeky. You can see the cue ball there. He pots that in the middle of the pocket. The cue ball's probably in the middle of the table. So they're trying to nick some millimetres of this bottom right corner bag. And they've just tried to be a little bit too cheeky. It's cost them.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
And the match swings again.
Interesting
He's happy
decision.
with Ricky's plan.
Yeah, interesting decision. Going up the table first. Wants to get past this red. Yeah, that's perfect, because now they can play the loss of turn and get the snooker at the same time. I was wondering whether they'd play the loss of turn straight at the bottom, play the red on the bottom cushion and get the cue ball into the yellow, but he might well have left the double on if he played that shot. It's a much better choice the way they've gone around it.
Yeah, I love that. We just saw and heard there from our referee, Arch Tesco. The 15-second shot clock is now in play. It's time to go to the races. Bit of a hit and hope from Ryan Fleming. It's not the worst result.
It's come out okay.
If that yellow's blocking the reds to the bottom left corner pocket, that is a problem on reds. A problem that they don't have a huge amount of time to figure out.
Thought they might just play the safety there and get the cue ball
How
on the
unlucky
break
is
line.
Ricky there?
Yeah. Break line left-hand cushion, gets everything nice and safe.
Brilliant. How good is that? Jordan Shephard.
It's a frame winner and therefore a match winner. Brilliant. Oh no. Oh no. I just said that double was a match winner. All of a sudden. That's such a big mistake from Ricky. They'd done the work. They just had to pot the balls, and they weren't difficult. Oh, Ryan's overhit it. This 8-ball doesn't go right centre.
These last couple of frames have had absolutely everything.
Pretty sure he's playing on the 8-ball to top left there. He's got it all wrong. Does this go? No, not at all.
Oh, you don't come much closer. You don't come much closer.
Well, everything going on in this frame. That really is. Both pairs should have won this twice over.
Yeah, in the most important match of the night so far.
Big smile on Ricky's face. I tell you, there's a lot of relief in that one. Knows that they're done and dusted in this frame and therefore in the perfect spot in the match. And he knows he gave away such a good opportunity. He's got away with it.
Sheppy will absolutely not mind standing there and waiting for these beeps. A lot of players will do it, but they look like they're under immense duress to do it. Sheppy will happily sit there and smile and wait for the clock to tick down.
Trailing 3 frames to 1.
And now they're desperate. You almost need the golden break here because they have to leave time in the next for a frame to be completed. You can't rely on a golden duck. Ooh, just for a second, he thought he had the golden duck as well when he got that secondary contact. But he does have the layout for an ultra-quick finish.
He certainly does. Yeah, just if you can leave anything like 45 seconds left on the watch on the next break, they're in business. They've got a chance.
Touchy shot, this one. Cue ball tracking the left centre.
Oh, how good's that?
Oh, he went that side of the yellow. That's fabulous.
How good is that? Brilliant finish from Mark Fleming. Really, really good. 45 seconds, there you go. Perfect timing. 45 seconds left.
Leading 3 frames to 2.
They have just completed a 46-second break clearance. They need it to be dry first, and it is. All right then, Ryan, get your skates on, sunshine.
These are there. These reds are all there. This is on.
35 seconds for the buzzer beater to tie it. Mark can help him along from the sidelines as well, which is useful. Saves Ryan constantly checking that clock.
I feel like he's just gone a touch slow here, but it is still just on. He'd love to leave a second as well if he can. Oh no, needs to stop it.
In goes the red. Can he make the 8? Not quite. What an effort from Ryan Fleming, who is absolutely devastated. He went so close. But Jordan Shephard and Ricky Jones get out of dodge with a victory, and Sheppy's happy, as well he should be. They take control of the group in the Pairs Cup. The Flemings back in the arena. And this a crucial game. Super break that from Mark Fleming. Wow. Much better than that. Going to get first go. Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams are also back. And the winner of this is still in with a shout. Both of these guys are 1-1, lost 1. If they can get that to 1-2, lost 1, with a little help from their friends Dave Fernandez and Nigel Smith, it's not over just yet.
The last shot that Ryan played was so big, wasn't it? If that 8 ball drops in, they're in prime position to at least have a 6 red shootout, because they'll be playing this match knowing victory guarantees that at least. Now they're hoping for help, and they have to win a match immediately. Just that one shot has changed everything, although in truth, if we're really looking at it, it was probably the couple of frames before that where they know they should have won the frame and they didn't. And we're in for a little bit of a mixy opening frame here. Top right hand corner is awful for both pairs.
Extension calls.
If they play the loss of turn here, they've got to be careful to make sure they block off the other yellow. And they haven't, so now they need the cover, and they haven't got it. The double's on here. Might be a ball too high for the double. I think it's on though. You can straighten this. Yeah, it was on. Only thing is he's left it a little bit straight, but that's not really a problem, because you only need to drop the yellow in left centre and you're tracking down for 8 ball bottom right. In all honesty, you could play it from where the yellow is, so even if you were straight, it's not a problem. That was a risky shot from the Welsh pairing. It really was. Wow, I'm really surprised by that. Just don't think there was any need. I guess they probably felt the yellow was just going to be a touch too thin if they left the... you see from the overhead that the yellow is just below the sort of centre pocket, so maybe it was a touch thin. I can only assume it was, otherwise it's just no need to load up and play that shot. Big error.
dear. It's a tricky-ish pot for Andy Williams, but it's one they absolutely should have made.
What an opening frame this is. Both players would feel like they should have won it. Huge let off for the Flemings. Huge. Almost an angry break there from Andy. Gave that everything.
Love some angry pool.
Yeah. Yellows is the choice. Probably because of the red just below the right centre pocket. All the other reds felt a little bit better, but the one near the right centre and the one just to the left of it, a little bit awkward. No real problems with the yellow. The one on the left-hand side goes top left and it almost plays as a big pocket. Just about on it now. Helps if it is a big pocket. Well, it is. I know it is. Not that they needed it, but it wasn't the easiest of pots from where he was.
And the angry pool pays off. Amazingly, it so often does.
Gave that everything for a cut break, didn't he? Very powerful cut break.
Even with that yellow and red down there, you gesture all
This is where you change things just a little bit. Clock management more than the natural way for the clearance. Yeah. Just trying to make a mess, make it awkward. Didn't want to do anything with that red and yellow together at the bottom because that's a really awkward spot of the table. Even though they can see that red, they might play away here. Try and hit a different red off a cushion is better. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. All this is working out for the Flemings. Doesn't look pretty at times, but that's a minute and a half just about wasted already in this frame. 3-1 up, that's fine.
They are going to keep Jordan Shephard and Elliot and Ricky Jones honest. A draw here would have been the ideal result for Sheppy and Ricky because they wouldn't even have to lift a finger in the final match and they'd still be qualified through. But as it is, they will still have to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Time to win it now then for Ryan. These are all there. And he had to try and make something happen, but he knew the chances of trying to squeeze that ball in were so slim. But he had to try. What else did he have? And he couldn't allow Ryan just to keep running the clock down. All but certain now they're going to get the victory here and the drive back up to Scotland. I guarantee that Ryan will be thinking about that 8-ball that he missed in the final second of the last match.
It's a long drive back, isn't it,
It's
to
a
think
long-
about that one.
I know that ultimately probably wasn't the mistake that's cost them. It was the mistakes a couple of frames before that that will really hurt, but that's the one that will stick in the memory, because they would be guaranteed a 6-red shootout right now if that had gone in.
Well, the Flemings do their bit. They eliminate Elliot Coombe and Andy Williams, and Ryan and Mark stay alive. They now become massive fans of Team Salsa. It's not over just yet. They're still in the hunt. Back live with the ultimate Paul Perez Cup, and Jordan Shephard is on the break. He and Ricky Jones are almost there. Simply a draw or a win will do. Anything else, which would be a Dave Fernandez and Nigel Smith victory, would be a 6-red shootout against Mark and Ryan Fleming. And despite Sheppy absolutely flushing this break, look at that cue ball, he is bone dry and ticked off about it as it brings his opponents to the table.
Quite an incredible break. Not a single ball other than the cue ball on the left-hand side of the table.
Make it make sense.
It makes no sense. And fascinating replay there. You see Jordan's eyes were just fixated on the cue ball the whole way, as it looked like he was tracking bottom left. Yeah, agree with you though, Stephen. That was a fabulous break, and not rewarded, but exactly what the Fleming brothers wanted to see, although that shot maybe not so much. Although, well, they're pointing, so that yellow must pass the red to the bottom right-hand corner. If not, they've got the angle to play into it. Too much, got into it way too much, and very much a sign of a player that doesn't get to play on a table like this very often. Way more responsive than you expect. Well, I think the reason I played that shot was that obviously it was tall order to make it like that, hoping to cushion first and knock it in, but if not, they're going to block the pocket, which I know that isn't the greatest result these days with international 8-ball rules, but will at least keep them in the frame. As it turns out, it's just wide open for Jordan and Ricky to counter here. Extension call from Jordan, because just a key shot coming up now. Shouldn't miss it, but still has to be made.
Make it, he does.
You could even screw off. Screw off. Yeah. But young ones.
Trying to slide by that red. Worked out okay. Just asking Jordan to make another very good shot here. Which he does with ease. That's more awkward than the previous one, actually. If he takes the easier pot to bottom right, cue ball is tracking away. He's going to have to go bottom left, because he can at least leave the red to bottom right on. An excellent recovery. Ricky's just put Jordan under it throughout the whole visit here, and Jordan keeps coming up with the goods. This time he gets cue ball right and leaves it simple.
And that will be a nerve settler in what is ultimately an awkward game for Sheppy and Ricky here.
That helps them though. Straight in for Ricky, not for the first time tonight. Does he need to develop anything here? You play the plant. I think if the red just below the 8 ball, if he caught that full in the face, no, he's not tried to, he's going to get on the yellow to bottom right. I was just wondering if he needed to attack that area. Put the cue ball where that red is perfect, because he's on the yellow bottom right and on the yellow right centre. You can come back to that area.
Extension calls.
He does have enough angle on this yellow if he wants to try and stun down and hit that red, but looks like he'd rather hit the gap. He's hit the gap nicely. The reason I was sort of suggesting the red is simply because the yellow by the 8 ball is still well guarded now. Whereas if he moves that red out the way, he sort of opens everything up.
Oh, I didn't love that. Is he still okay?
Yeah, moving that yellow, he really needed to be on it. It might have been better just to drop that in and have that off angle.
Oh, he was still fine.
Yeah, but you've still got to land on that yellow. Which he can. He still can.
Yeah, it's not a terrible result that he can snick this yellow in. It's delicate. He's got a gap to hit.
He might be on the yellow to right centre now.
Oh, I mean, if he is, that's unbelievable, the gap to hit that.
He did have a look. Yeah, he is.
Oh, how do you like those? Eye of the needle stuff from Dave Fernandez. Yeah, you better hold your hands up. That is a naughty one.
That's not the best, though.
Oh, that's a terrible shot. And he told himself it as much as well.
You're sort of down on the shot. And last second, you're thinking, don't leave it short and snooker myself, and then you overdo it.
This will hurt if he can make it. Oh, Dave Fernandez. I mean, what else can you do? You just got to put your hand up and say, sorry, mate, I've got away with one there.
Dave Fernandez trying to add insult to injury here, chasing the 8 ball. We haven't had his standard golden break that we normally get when he plays on a Monday night. Maybe now's the time. Oh, might be the golden duck.
No way. Oh, wowee. I mean, that is incredible.
Oh, dear.
That is absolutely incredible.
And he knew quickly, didn't he?
I thought we had an agreement. And you're a lot of Scottish words outside.
Dave overruled me, I was meant to break.
That was nearly the plan.
And the best part is as well, is Mark and Ryan are out there because I can hear them and they're chatting away to David Nigel.
At least I didn't take much off the clock.
Oh, they've had so much hope over the last 2 frames. Oh, it's great to see. Oh, a dagger blow for the Flemings, really, isn't it?
Can honestly say, hand on heart, that the Women's World Team Shootout last year was my favourite part of the entire Morocco World Championships. It was magic. The final between Ireland and Morocco will live long in the memory, not least for the pool, but most of all for the atmosphere. It was played in just an amazing spirit. Excited to see that event again. It's live for you next Monday as the pairs goes on a brief hiatus. It goes in its summer holidays, and so do myself and Simon and the rest of the Ultimate Pool team, as we are also off on our summer holidays to Blackpool.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Disappointing first shot that for Nigel. It was a good break and a good split, but he put 2 reds awkward in the first shot, and it went from being a decent opportunity to being a really poor one. And that may well be that for the night.
That should be the dagger.
They're finishing as they started. Jordan heavily invested in the Ricky Jones visit to the table, just helping him out.
Kill time's well on it.
You heard the instruction there, kill time. Doesn't necessarily have to get out here.
I think the yellow does go left centre, but just gone a touch too far. Might take the yellow top right for the clearance, but it's all about just running clock more than anything else. He's going to go right centre because of it, because it's an easier pot. The worst thing that can happen is missing there.
That's a beautiful shot. Played some good stuff tonight. There's Ricky. He's going to be back as well.
I just like the way they've worked together. I think it's been a fabulous partnership, the way they've gone about it tonight.
Bottom left, says Sheppy. Ricky Jones pumps in the 8-ball. Super performance from these two. They have fully deserved it, as Jordan Shephard and Ricky Jones qualified through for the last 16 of the Pairs Cup. Super performance from them, and they're very pleased about it too, as well they should be.